Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dumpster Fire. I don't know if you're here to put it out or help us make it burn, baby. Sit back, prepare to lose your hearing and brain cells with my special guest. He's a longtime breakdancer from Woodland, California. He's also a Twitch streamer. So let's give a warm welcome and help him get a real job. My friend, Mr. Bboy Shyne. What's up?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing good, dude. So do you still live out in Sac or
no, I live in Woodland still. Yeah.
Okay.
I still live in Woodland.
In the Hoodland.
In the Hoodland, man. The Dirty 530 is what they call it.
So, I didn't know this, but you have been streaming for like quite a while, like 7 years. Like I didn't even know what the hell like Twitch streaming was for the longest time. And then when I found out that you did it, it's like, I don't know, been really interesting to me because I don't know crap about it, but it seems so cool that fucking people are online playing video games and stuff and like basically making a living. So
oh yeah,
can
dude.
you tell me a little bit about that?
It's been big for a while. When I first started, I would watch a lot of people like, do it, and I'd be like, I'm watching somebody play video games. Like, why, at first you kind of just, you're thinking about it, but the more you kind of get in tune with their character and the person that you're actually watching, you become friends with them without them actually becoming friends with you.
So you have like kind of a connection with like the people you.
Yeah. And then like, getting into it was pretty fun. Like I said, I was watching people at first, and then eventually I started like, oh, maybe I could try to do this. But my setup was so bad, dude. I literally, all right, so,
That's where you start.
Yeah, everybody starts from the bottom, I guess. Yeah. But, yeah, I had like a shoebox, and I had like my old like Nintendo DS, because a lot of people that I would watch would play like Game Boy games, like Pokemon, Zelda.
How the fuck do you do that?
So I'd get a shoebox. I'd cut a hole in the front where I could put my hands in. I'd cut a hole in the top where you could see like the actual top of the DS, and I would put my camera, which would be a freaking tablet or my phone, and it would be recorded.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude, it was ghetto.
Wait, so it was. How did you even see it?
I wouldn't. I would. Well, okay. So I would have like another phone or tablet, and then I would be able to see my stream.
Oh, okay.
So then I would do it like that.
So it was a Nintendo DS,
and then a DS,
and it was connected to another screen, and then you had a separate camera like film.
No, it wasn't connected to anything. It was just its own DS with a shoebox over it, with a tablet facing down on it, so you could see the screen. And I would look at my phone so I could see everything. And then there'd be like the chat on the bottom, and you could
Oh,
and
damn.
then
yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it was horrible, dude. It was it was a struggle. Like the quality of the video would be so bad, like the light from the DS would shoot up at the camera, and it'd be so like glossy and foggy. You'd be like, "What is this guy even playing?" So you
get like negative viewers,
bro. Honestly, I think I got more viewers back then.
Oh, really? From that
starting out, but I mean, like I said, like everybody. It's just a general thing of connecting with somebody. And you really like to play video games, and people, everybody likes it, regardless if you're young, old. At some point, you did play video games.
Yeah.
But it was just like so nostalgic to me, because I used to love playing like Zelda, Pokemon when I was little on the Game Boy, staying up late trying to beat the levels, and then coming back and I would see it and I'd be like, that's pretty dope. But the more you incorporate like how they were doing stuff like on Twitch, you kind of learn more and more their steps of, well, what are you doing, or like, how are you doing this and how are you doing that. So then eventually I upgraded. I got a little laptop. It was like a little cheap $200 laptop. Okay. And then I would use a webcam. I bought like a little $20 webcam, and facing my DS and all that stuff. And then eventually I learned that you have to buy a capture card. So the capture card is a device that allows you to stream your game to the actual computer, and you can like screen capture it, and you'll see it real time, instead of like you're looking through a camera through something else.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah. So then it got a little bit more better. The quality of the content got a little bit better. We went from that to that, and then
from the bottom now.
Bro, when I first came up, it was so funny because like the game capture that I had was great.
Yeah.
And those things do cost money. So I'll tell you this: streaming is not cheap. it can get pricey. Like I had just like
making
I said,
a podcast is fucking pricey, dude.
A lot of this stuff does cost a lot of money. If you want quality content, you're gonna spend some money.
Yeah.
So I would say
this is not quality content. So just you know what I mean.
It's quality. I mean, we're here. But yeah, definitely. Like I went to that. So then I was like, why is my quality of my video so shitty? Because like it would be like 230p, and I'm like, these people are streaming at like 720 you know,
1080 and
so
whatever.
yeah. And then I was like, well, what am I doing wrong? So I reached out to somebody, and they're like, dude, you need a better computer, because your computer is not pushing out what you want it to push out, because you have no processor for one. You're just basically you just
had that generic Walmart.
Exactly.
Computer.
So then I was like, well, how much do you think I have to spend? They're like, well, for a good PC,
probably.
Not even like that. They're for a good business, but back then this was considered a lot to me. But they're like, you need at least $1,000 for a PC. And I was like, what? I was like, my setup already cost me $300. Like, yeah, you gotta spend like at least that's just for your computer.
I would think you need at least like a low quality gaming computer.
Exactly.
Which would take you probably $1,000 to $1,500.
Oh yeah.
If you want a really good one, I don't think you probably don't need a tower though, like a
no. You could use a laptop.
Okay.
The only thing I think like with okay, so if you're gonna use like a gaming computer, that would be more in the stuff if you're gonna play like games on your computer
from your PC.
Yeah.
So
but if
PC
you have
games,
like a capture card, you can play from your like actual games. So the thing was like a lot of these like so Game Boys obviously, the Nintendo Switch, and like PS4 and all that, they don't have where you could project on it, but you can stream from your PlayStation 4 by itself, but there's no camera. The quality is not as intense, you know. So I mean, with those things though, like they do cost money. Like I said, the capture card by itself was like $150. You know, you want a good camera, that's another $100. Decent mic, another $100 something dollars. And then your monitor, everything, it all adds up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much everything I've done on this podcast, but it's up there for sure.
I mean, and expensive. You just like you That's always want to add something new. You always want to add something new.
Yeah. The next thing I'm probably gonna get is more lighting for this, because it's just something better than this shit.
I didn't even know anything about lighting until like 2 years ago, to be honest with you. Like
I knew about lighting, I just didn't care. And then like when you start editing footage, you're like, dude, this lighting really sucks. And I don't really know how to edit that well either. So
I'm learning as I go.
Figuring it out, yeah. Luckily, I used to make like crappy little breakdance trailers from like back in the day, so I knew how to use Adobe Premiere.
Okay.
So I could do at least the easy stuff on there.
Transitions
but
and all that
now
stuff.
I'm like trying to learn all the like really cool edits and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this goes down the rabbit hole for reals.
I think like potting and then like gaming, as far as the editing goes, are a little bit more different, because you guys got to do so much detail in potting, because it's like the conversations to your lighting, like you said, and to like your camera being in the right direction. When gaming, it's just you're doing your thing, and then you have a camera on your face,
and it's just you don't have to switch.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Here, I don't have a live switch here. If I had someone else helping me with this, I could do like a live switch, but right now I have to like edit it all, like going back and forth, and so I have to go through each podcast like
it's work, man.
Multiple times. It's a lot of it really is a lot of work. And then I've been trying to put in like videos of everybody like dancing and stuff in the videos.
Incorporating, that stuff.
Yeah. But no, I mean the struggle is real for reals, because you could have I feel like you could have good content in terms of you're like a good personality, you're good at games or something.
Yeah.
But you could still have a shitty stream just like from the pure quality of what you have.
For sure. Sure. Like I've seen people who are great talkers, have a great personality, like you said, but the quality of their stream, and I feel bad. Like I'll go and I'm like, oh, this is a the nice person you kind of conversate, because I like to like I'm not huge, but I'm decent enough to do. I'm doing well. I'm partnered on Twitch and everything. So there's being partnered on Twitch is like a status thing, but you also it's like it becomes a job. So when you get partners, when you start making money.
Is that like a blue check thing?
Kind of, yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's a purple check.
Purple check. Okay,
but with that, like but I always try to go back and see people who are just starting out, and not give my advice, but just kind of say, hey, you're doing a good job, and just kind of show love. But like I feel bad because like I said, I remember going back to the shoebox days, and these guys are kind of doing the same thing, and I'm just like, man, I'm just like I've been there, I get it, and they'll have like, you know, one viewer and it's me, and I'll talk to them for like 30 minutes, and I feel bad, like, all right, well, I'm gonna take off, and they're like, oh, thank you so much, and then, you know, I'll come back like maybe a couple of weeks later, and they'll have a little bit more view, which is good, yeah. You know, because it kind of shows that they're picking up, they're not giving up. So
yeah,
that's, you know, that's how it goes, man. You start with, you know, kind of nobody watching you, and it's weird playing video games by yourself for so long, because when I first started, dude, I had no viewers for like 2 months.
Oh yeah,
I was just by myself, you know, and I didn't care. I was just like, you know, hey, I'm just,
I mean, you would be playing the video game by yourself if you weren't.
And the funny part is, dude, is you catch yourself talking to yourself.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because a lot of people, like, from what I picked up off, is people narrate while they're playing.
Oh yeah,
you know. Yeah. And I see people too who actually use character voices and while they're playing. So like, dude, it's so funny hearing like dudes with deep ass voices trying to do like a girly voice.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, in the beginning you're just kind of talking to yourself for a minute, and then you'll have someone pop up and you get all excited, like, oh man, someone's watching.
That'd actually be interesting if there was like some legit voice actors that were like playing.
There is.
Oh,
there actually, yeah. Okay. There's people who they even if they're not playing video games, they'll just voice act, and that's like a whole thing on its own, a whole stream on its own.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, shoot, I guess you can go down the streaming rabbit hole. There's so many
for sure. There's so, like, that's the thing about streaming. It's not just video games obviously is predominantly what they do, but it varies, dude, from people like painting their nails to talking to video games to, you know.
I had this idea a long time ago to make like a sock puppet that would just troll everybody.
The troll puppet?
Like just a troll, like sock puppet.
Oh my lord!
You know,
Mr. Socko or what?
Well, it was just a sock puppet that trolls people, and make a whole like a social media presence with this thing. Like it'd be like an Instagram person, where they're just, you know, posting all the dumb shit that all the Instagram people post and then stream and go on people's stream and just talk shit.
That'll be so bad.
But it was like,
that probably would pick up, honestly.
It might. I think it's a good idea, but it would take so much fucking time to do.
Oh, dude.
And personally, I'd rather just watch that than actually be the guy behind it. Because it would just be hilarious, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good idea. Hey, that's gold right there, man.
It would be. I think it'd be hard because I'd need multiple people to help me with it. Because you need this guy talking shit. You need someone who can actually play a game.
Yeah, right. While you're doing it, you're just sitting there,
on there like,
you're so trash.
Get wrecked,
dude. Oh my god, gamer lingo is so horrible, and that's another thing too. Yeah, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, you know,
it's kind of like breaking though. When someone says you're whack, you're a biter, you're a herb, like
same thing. Like
regular people are like, I don't know what the hell. What the hell is that?
Like when I heard herb for the first time, I was like, my name's Steven.
Oh, the dog is tripping. Oh shit! I was gonna ask you a question and I just forgot because his dog is tripping. Because we were talking about how, like, I guess how streaming, like how starting out as a streamer with like the like I guess your rough shitty setup is it kind of similar like how people start in the breaking world, you know, with just a limited knowledge of breaking, not any moves, just trying to figure out, make their way through it. Like,
that is like a perfect comparison, because like when you first start streaming, you don't know what you're doing. I didn't know anything about computers. I didn't know anything about softwares. Yeah. I didn't know anything about, you know, all I know how to do is just play video games. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you're b-boying, you know, you don't really know any of the concepts of style or
like, I didn't even understand how music was put together. I just kind of listened to music my whole life, and I'm like, okay, it kind of is like this. But when someone told me, oh yeah, do an 8 count or whatever, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, so like I had to learn what that actually was. So it, like, breaking really opened the doors to like how music is even like put together, exactly. And all the different layers of it, the highs and the lows and stuff. Like none of that stuff ever crossed my mind, even though I was introduced to it, like, you know, from a young age. So yeah, just perceiving that stuff is
a lot of things for me too. I didn't even hear music. I would just hear words. But you know, I didn't know anything about beats. I didn't know anything about, you know, snare. I didn't know anything about bass. You know, like all those little, parts of the music that create that one sound, you don't hear it individually until you actually, like you said, someone said, do the A count, follow this beat, listen to the snare, listen, hear that bass. Like, I'm like, what? Okay. And then once you start to kind of hear everything individual, you're like, wow, that's a lot of, different stuff coming to one sound.
Yeah. So like in a way, as you're building those skills, it's kind of like you're building up your capabilities as a dancer, kind of like you're building up your capabilities as a streamer.
Exactly. Because when you're streaming, you have to learn about all, like, not just the technical part, but you have to also learn how to like talk to people. You also have to learn how to like interact and engage and want someone to be able to watch you. Like, you have to be fun, you have to be interesting. Like little things is like when a lot of people play video games, this is their natural, personality that comes out. They're crazy, or they get hyped, or they talk a lot of shit or something like that. But at the same time, like when someone's coming in and watching you and conversating and you're kind of multitasking, that's another thing, you get another ability you have to learn.
I would be terrible at that, I think.
Oh, dude, it's like, it's so bad that, like, you're focusing on something and then you kind of have to keep glancing to your, right or left, wherever your side of the monitor is, to kind of read what people are saying. A lot of people who play like fast-paced video games like Call of Duty, where you're constantly on the go, they do engage. But you'll notice, like, if they die, they get so mad because they're like, where'd that guy come from? I didn't even see him, because you notice they'll kind of be looking at the chat, and you're just like, dude.
And they just get snuck up
And then people like that because they want to see that person rage because, it's funny.
I think that's why Joe's good at it, because he rages the fuck out.
Joe the bully, shout out. But yeah, dude, I mean, oh my God, dude. Like, I'll hear him talk so much trash to people, like, while he's playing. Like, oh, it's so funny. He's like, you're trash. Why are you even doing that?
I bet someone on the other end is like, sad.
My God, dude. He probably hurts people's feelings, but at the same time, people that are watching him like, dude, you are great.
No, I love Joe. He's funny.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's funny as hell, dude. Great streamer, good dude too. But yeah, man, like those little things you have to pick up along the way, little tips and tricks. I mean, same thing with kind of like potting. You learn the little, things that you can make your pod or your stream a little bit more, interesting or better or simple, even, because like I didn't know, certain things. Like I got a monitor's HDMI switcher, because I would literally have to pull out a cable if I was playing one game, pull out the HDMI, hook up another one, because like I said, I have so many consoles that are right there, and it would take forever. So now I could plug them all into this one thing, and it's at a push of a button.
Oh, dope! That's. Dude, I didn't even know that was possible.
That
could probably be used for this.
Exactly.
Get some upgrade. Yeah, because I want to have like a screen that I can actually show stuff on.
Oh, okay. That'd be,
eventually,
And they have it for like cameras as well. So if you do want like,
that's probably how they do all the like live switches.
Yeah, changing the light. You just boop, boop, boop.
I don't know shit about it. I just
put the stuff you pick
I just
up.
turn a camera on and talk shit. Like,
hey, but it's working though.
So like getting into breaking a little bit, how do you think breaking and streaming is like similar?
I would say like they both require a lot of like practice, you know, and you remember when you first started b-boying, like how nervous or like you were shy of wanting to do something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like all the eyes are on you.
Like a circle.
Exactly. So it's the same thing like with streaming. You don't really want to like, you get camera shy because it's first of all, no one's really used to just sitting there for hours on end with a camera on their face, and you have to engage with people. Like you'll eventually run out of stuff.
That's why I can't do a solo podcast, because I'd be like weird, like, hey everybody, welcome to the shit show.
All grimy.
Yeah. Like I need to talk to somebody. It feels weird.
It does.
Yeah.
And like even like I said, like if at least with a video game, you'll be able to focus on something rather than just looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Because like I'll look at videos from like my past streams, because you stream and then it records everything and you can download the content.
Yeah, I think so.
But there'd be like an hour or two where I'm just sitting there just like with a blank stare, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing? And like but with the b-boying stuff and the streaming concept, I would say like that is one thing, but also your character. You have to engage with people, you have to make them interested in what you're doing. Different skills, you want to learn different skills. You got to train certain your footwork to your power moves too. And then with gaming, you got to learn how to game good. Obviously, you have to learn which games that are kind of like popping at the time. So people are not gonna watch games that are from like 10 years ago. They're like, that's old news. So that's another thing you have to kind of be on top of is what's the new stuff that's out. Like with b-boying too. Remember how it was power moves for a long time. Then it got to dancing. Then it got to footwork. Then it got to like beat riding. So you're constantly changing what you're doing, and sometimes for example, like the Call of Duty. I've never played a Call of Duty game up until the one that just came out before. It was Warzone.
Okay.
So that's like 5-6 games, into and I'm not a big fan of shooter games.
Okay.
But since that was a thing that was in and everybody wanted to see, I had to learn. And I'll tell you, dude, I was trash. And the stuff that Bully was saying to people, I got told.
He was playing against you.
Oh, like, yeah, probably. Yeah. They're like, suck. Hey, man, you suck. You're trash. Wrecked. Yeah, get wrecked. Or it gets crazy. Wrecked. And then once you get better and you're doing it to those people, and then you start hearing the hate comments. Like, your dad never loved you. And I'm like, what?
Oh, man. That's like the freestylesession.com
Oh, my
forums.
Lord, dude. Exactly. Like, it's so toxic, man. It's so toxic. But then, like, you have, like, and that's another thing, too, like, with b-boying. You have to kind of be careful, like, you're engaging with different age groups.
Yeah.
So when you're b-boying with somebody, an older dude, anything goes. But if it's a little kid,
you can't
wreck little kid. You can't do that.
And then the little kid does like 50 air flares against you, and you're like, oh, I got wrecked, I guess.
And so, like, same thing with gaming. Like, you because there's people that are live and you hear them talking and stuff, and it's a little kid by their voice, and you feel bad because, like, I remember
Timmy, go back, do your homework. Timmy.
Oh, that's the funniest thing, dude. When you hear parents in the background getting mad. Turn off that goddamn game. I told you an hour ago. You just say, look, I gotta go.
You hear him like run away.
You're grounded.
Oh, guys, I gotta leave.
Oh, man. And me personally, like, I have, my son and my daughter, and when I'm in where I'm gaming at, they'll barge in sometimes, and it's kind of like your sanctuary, your time to kind of do what you want to do. They don't care. They'll just bust in and they're like, hey, man, what's going on? I'm like, shh. Because, you don't want to hear screaming in the background. Same thing like when you're potting, you're talking, it's quiet, it's chill. But those little like interruptions that come in and, they're loud, and it's like, oh, man. I'm like, oh, that's, you got to go into a whole explanation. Like, oh, that's my son. And then people kind of like, get to know you like that too. Like, oh, you have a son, yada, yada, yada. And then, you kind of engage with that. So, I mean, it's cool because, like I said, everybody games. Like, you'll get like, I've met people, young kids to grandmas, like grandpas. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess, no, I mean, if I was a grandma and grandpa age, like, video games seems like the dopest thing to really do. Like, when I'm 80 and I can't even move, like, I might as well put the VR headset and become a freaking knight or whatever,
Have you ever VR'd?
I did a little bit of it. I don't have one, but I've tried it.
I should have brought mine.
You know what I did? I went to this thing. It was in LA. It was crazy. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this Star Wars VR thing.
Yeah.
You put on a whole suit and a headset, and they just take you into this room. And so, like, what it is just like a warehouse with just shit going on, and like you just go through this whole, like, I think it was like a 30-minute kind of like game where you're running from like the freaking stormtroopers. You run into a room, you lock it, you get a gun, so you're like physically holding a gun, and then when you shoot, it's like killing all the like dudes and stuff. And so, like, when you touch a wall, the wall is actually there. Yeah, it's dope.
It's crazy.
And I remember we walked into this one part where it was like there's lava around you.
Yeah.
And it's all hot. There's like hot air blowing at you, and then this like big, like it's like a big monster comes up right in front of your face and like growls at you. And you could feel the like the like breath from it like go on your face. It was so dope. I was like, man,
that's crazy.
And it was just the beginning of it. You know what I mean? Like the technology, you could tell like it wasn't 100% there yet. Like if I was to like touch you, you would be there, but it would show like my hand was kind of like glitching out or whatever. But it was cool because I didn't need to wear like any gloves or anything, and as soon as I would move my hands like this, it would show that the hands were moving. So but sometimes you sit down and you're like your body's like clipping through stuff. So, but I mean, the technology is just gonna keep getting better.
Oh, it's crazy,
It's
man.
gonna be hype.
Like I have an Oculus, which is a VR headset, and it's a standalone, so you don't need a computer. It's not one of those things you put your phone in. It's its own device.
Okay.
And they have a vest that you can buy, and
Haptic.
and a haptic vest, and then so like whenever you get hit or shot, you'll feel that. Like it's like a little, tick, and you're like,
What if it literally shot you? Like something like and it just fucking stabs you. Oh,
I got hit. But it's crazy, like how much like technology is changing and how rapid it is too.
The world is gonna turn into that movie.
Ready Player One.
Yeah,
and I believe that. Like that's how it is right now.
Because the premise of the movie really is like they made this game that kind of evolved into like kind of an online space where like you can literally walk into like eBay or something and it's a store.
Yeah. And you can buy whatever you want to buy.
Of course they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, of course. They already kind of have technology to be able to do that. They just need to like build a whole online space.
It's there actually.
I mean, really it's just the websites would probably have to build on a VR feature to their website, really. And yeah, I mean it's
what's
happen.
Crazy is a lot of stuff, like especially with everything that's going on right now. A lot of these people are going towards that stuff. Yeah. So on the VR headset, there's a thing called VR experiences. So you're literally walking through like a town or like a city.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you can go into like a comedy club, and you'll literally be sitting down and watching a comedy show. You'll go to a concert and watch it. You go to a movie theater and watch a movie.
That's crazy.
Like that's how.
You think there's gonna be breakdancing jams? Like
dude,
some straight up b-boy jams?
I would say yes, but not anytime soon. Like because with those things are kind of clunky, but they are making ones that are like smaller, like sunglasses.
Yeah, you need that.
You'll have like those suits on, and you can have like the gloves, the footwear, the vest or whatever. So you'll pick up your whole body, and who knows, you'll be able to throw down. I mean, you could see like. Or even create a character and play like, remember
someone would hack it, I think.
What was that old B-boy game that was, you know what I'm talking about?
It was basically Tony Hawk's Pro Skater but with breaking.
It was was it? It wasn't a Red Bull game, huh?
I don't remember, but it was tied into
was it Freestyle Session?
UK Champs, I think, because the winner of UK Champs would always get into it.
That's right. But like
I remember
could see
Benny
like that.
Benny from Flying Steps was like killing it in that game.
Oh, dude, Benny
was
just
riding 90s like crazy
all day,
like just impossible, like 50 90s.
And then you'd have like characters on there that like had no power, and even though you'd try to hit like power combos, it's like nah.
And then it's like six step
windmill.
Somehow that beat like 50 air flares. I don't know.
My God, but yeah, man, it like. Those things are crazy rapidly evolving, and I could see something like that happening eventually.
That would be really interesting, like especially thinking like about how COVID kind of locked down everything and jams are like non-existent anymore, and who knows when it's gonna start up again. Like that's kind of an interesting thought. Is like, what if you started doing jams
in VR?
Like in VR,
that'd be dope. I mean, they kind of do have the online stuff battles right now.
Yeah,
it's not the same. Like,
it's stupid because it's all like this person's playing their own music at their house.
Exactly.
Like you can't even see it, or like.
But also too, if they have a crappy connection, which I've seen.
Yeah, and it just glitches out, and it's
God.
like, come on, man.
I'm like,
it's like this looks like one of Shyne's early streams, dude.
Wow, the shoebox, baby. But yeah, dude, it's. I think eventually it'll get there.
Yeah, I think the online battles right now, they remind me of the early bboy.org pick battles. That's how bad they like. And not to knock the people that are doing it, like, because they're good. I think they're good dancers and stuff.
And it's a good positive way to keep it kind of going.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's good for what it is for now, for what we have.
Yeah.
But there's got to be the next evolution to it, because what I don't like about it is that there's not this like atmosphere of like a jam about it. Like it's just people watching it from their home computer, and they cheer or whatever, and it like doesn't mean anything.
Do you think any of those b-boys hacked their footage? Like say like you're pre-recorded a set, and then they just like click a button and
Probably. I
They
mean,
just kill some killer set that they have.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It'd be funny they like click it and then they're wearing something different. Like,
something different.
It's like night or something.
He's like, you didn't see that. No, that was me.
Wasn't that round dope?
It was like from like 2006 that they were just killing it that year.
It's not even them.
That's something. Oh my god, it'd be so bad. It's like some crazy like Brazilian dude just hitting some crazy combos, and it comes back and the dude's white.
Yeah. Like, didn't I kill it? Yeah. Hey, I win, right?
Oh my god. Did you see what Red Bull's doing though, right?
Nuh-uh.
So they had their contest, and then they picked, I think, the top 8. I think it is top 8 or something like that, or top 6. Top 8. I'm sorry. Yeah, 2, 4, yeah, 8. So they actually flew those people down. I think it's in Australia this year. So they actually have those people battling in a Red Bull facility, which is dope. And it's, you know, it's in person. But I think like leading up to that, it was all digital.
Okay.
So I mean that's kind of a good, dope concept. Like, you know, anywhere around the world, because a lot of people like further along. Okay, that's another thing. Like a lot of people who were b-boying that were dope, that were traveling and had the resources to do that. But there was those people that were crazy good, and you know they couldn't travel, but it had access to like a cell phone or a laptop. Then they can put their name out there, and then you know Red Bull's like, you know, they fly the winners out and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got people from, you know, the Congo, deep in, you know, Australia, Brazil, like deep wherever.
In the middle of nowhere, dude.
Yeah.
There's some countries I never even heard of.
Oh my God.
I didn't even hear of Kazakhstan until like the freaking one dude that
KillaShyne86, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this guy?
Isn't this the fake place that Borat is from? And then I find out it was like a real
place.
I was like, oh my god.
I think that's where that guy's actually from.
Yeah.
He's actually from the Borat character, the real person.
Yeah.
He's from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then I think like they were kind of mad, but at the same time, like when he did the first movie, like it blew up. So a lot of people were kind of like, that's a real place.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like seeing like all these countries that I've never even heard of that have like dope b-boys, it's crazy.
Yeah, like that. There's that kid from the Congo. I don't know what his name is, but that dude is.
Is he the dude who like he goes flare handstand then into invert and then he'll flip over and catch planche? Yeah, that guy's
he's nasty, dude.
And he's just in freaking no shoes, doing it on grass or sand or something. Yeah, that guy's crazy.
And like just a bunch of people like that are just, you know, like that guy CeeLo. I mean,
I
didn't know who that was. You know, he blew up, but he wasn't able to travel anywhere for a long time. Yeah. And then once he kind of, he's Laotian, and I was like, oh snap, Laos got one.
I mean, I remember when I went to Thailand and we were just there for like vacation. Yeah. And we just were walking down in the street, and there's like some b-boys, and they were like getting down. I was like, these guys are freaking good.
Oh, dude.
And like I've never heard of a crew from Thailand.
Thailand's got some hitters, and you're just like, wait,
there's some
what?
There. It's insane. I mean, the online culture of breaking has really like changed, I think, the ability for a lot of these smaller countries and like poorer countries to get access to it. It's kind of crazy because Vince actually probably had a big influence on that.
I agree.
Because his channel is one of the first ones to really like put out good quality videos that literally anybody can access.
Exactly.
Yeah. As long as you can
a lot of people
English,
are learning, and that's, you know, the whole. I mean, with the whole motto of the hip hop community was, you know, we want to expand hip hop, we want to teach it, we want to, you know, put it down the right way. And you know, Vince is a perfect example of that, because like you said, anybody has access to his stuff, and he also does it very, very in-depth and detailed way. You know, and that's big ups to Vince, man, because that's, you know,
he's probably got the biggest online collection of videos.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. He's been doing it for a minute,
because most people, they'll do like how to air chair video, how to flare video, and like he has those, and those are probably his more, you know, popular ones. But he also has like how to do simple coffee grinder to like freeze,
the basic stuff, the little things that
like
people
the stuff
like,
that nobody really would show you,
break down. Yeah,
like
exactly.
You would need a mentor to be around you to say, hey, this is a move you should learn. This is like a sequence that will help you learn, you know, how to break better.
Exactly. So. And I like the fact that he's not just doing it himself. He's starting to incorporate people who have their own signature move. Not even a signature move, but something that they're really dope at.
Yeah.
You know,
he features
those people, and they break it down, and you know, and he doesn't just like let them explain it simply. He'll go like, oh, what about that little part there? And you know, he gets in depth, which is dope.
Yeah. And you know, I know when in the early days of his channel, there was like a lot of guys from out in like India, I think, that were hitting him up saying like, hey, there's nobody that breaks here, but your videos let me learn how to break. And now India has some dope ass b-boys.
Dude, India's got some.
Apparently they hit him up and they're like, hey, I can smoke you now, but no, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, oh,
but basically they were thanking him that he kind of showed them how to break, and now they can like literally win like BC1 and stuff.
Oh, dude,
so
that's
really
dope.
insane.
I mean, that's inspiring right there, you know, because that's gonna be like his part in the chapter of b-boy history, you know. Like he left that watermark, he left that print there, and these people, you know, from these different countries are like, that's the guy.
I mean, I'm definitely excited to see how like the online culture continues to shape breaking, because it's not something we can run away from.
No, especially nowadays, everything is online.
Yeah, it's here to stay, and you know, I think a lot of the older people like us we're from the age where before YouTube really existed, and then we transitioned into that. So I think it kind of comes on us to really like help.
Yeah, for sure.
Continue that transition. And same thing with like the younger people now is like help that transition go.
See, that's another thing with us. Like starting, like I said, going back to my shoebox days.
Yeah.
B-boying, my shoebox days for B-boying, all I had was a little CD player that, you know, didn't work half of the time. But I didn't even have linoleum or anything. We didn't have you know, dance studios. We didn't have floors. We didn't have none of that. All I had was a park that had one slab of cement that was slippery, and that was it. And we would go there for hours on end, dude, days on end, every day, going. And eventually, I saved up enough money from cashing in cans, and I bought a little 6x6 linoleum.
Damn. Yeah.
Woodland.
You know what we just were at our high school, and there was like. This is bad because right near the bathroom,
God,
it was just an open space.
Yeah.
So we would just practice right there.
See,
like the dirty ass floor right next to the bathroom. We were like killing it on that floor. And we had a radio, but we didn't have a CD player, I think, on that radio. So we had
the tapes? The one you put it in your
cassette
display?
Tape.
Yeah.
So because we would record music and play it off of that.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I think we got a computer that we could put. We could burn on CDs.
Okay.
So then we started using the CD player. Those days were rough.
They were rough, man. But the dude, and we would ride our bikes to this park, and I had the linoleum. I'd have the linoleum on my shoulder, and I'd be riding my bike, and then someone would have the radio on their, you know, handlebars, and we would go to that park every single day, rain or shine. We were there, practicing.
Yeah, no, hold on. Can you say that story again?
So like we would literally like go to that park every single day. I would be having my linoleum rolled up on my shoulder. I'd be riding my bike, and someone would have the little stereo on their handlebars, and we would ride all the way to that park every single day, rain or shine. We would practice there. Yeah,
no, I remember my young days. We went to Washington Center, which luckily it had a floor. The floor was really nasty, but man. It was a struggle.
It was a place, though. It was a sanctuary for you guys.
It was a nice place to actually go. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I just only had that place and the freaking bathroom, stall. Dude,
I get it, though.
I keep making the joke to people that B-boys don't get COVID because we freaking roll on the nasty floor.
Been through the muck and back.
Yeah.
Dude. Like I said, well, the funny part is that slab of cement this is a public park. This is a park like that was just, you know, grimy as hell, but that floor was right there in front of the bathrooms as well. And those, you know how public park bathrooms smell, bro? They had no doors, so
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. Sometimes you'd just be like, you know what, whatever, man. I actually threw a jam at that park. All right, so real quick story. So I was I think it was my 15th or 16th birthday. That's how I met Morris. That's how I met Donovan. That's how I met I don't know if you remember Little Willie from LA.
I think that sounds familiar.
He was a powerhead, and I met Sky and Day Day, and then I think Abe was there, and Dietrich's. So I threw that competition, and Kid Conflict was there too.
Okay.
So, and then, you know, I was young, dude, and they were, you know, obviously young, but they were way better than me. I had like, you know, a halo, a flare, just like some basic moves. But watching them, and I was like, what is that? That's the first time I seen an air flare. That's the first time I seen combos. That's the first time I seen like inverts and stuff. And I was like, oh snap. But yeah, I remember meeting those guys at that park. And if you ever see any of them, you could ask, hey, did you guys ever go to a park at a jam at a park back in the day that was hella grindy?
All the jams.
That was my jam, bro. That was my first ever jam.
Man, that's one thing that I've seen that is kind of missing from the scene is the grime.
Oh, dude, it's not so luxurious now. People are throwing jams in like these nice studios, or they rent out halls, and it's like, you know, and it's like, man, like we didn't have any of that.
The dirt.
We were like in the dirt.
Up. Well, yeah, I mean, I was talking to some younger b-boys, and it's like the idea of like the grime at a jam doesn't even like make sense to them.
Oh Lord,
which is interesting.
I mean, and it's funny though, because like you'll look at b-boys, like the younger generation now, and they, you know, they're all dressed up nice. They have like, you know, tracksuits.
Yeah.
You know, they got
like it's a freaking fashion statement.
Back then, we just had some dirty t-shirts, dirty ass.
Like the nicest shirt you had was the freaking tribal shirt.
Oh, dude, if you can get or Dada, remember Dada? If you can get the tribal or the Dada stuff, man, you were sitting pretty.
You weren't gonna wear your freaking nicest Nike thing.
No.
You weren't gonna wear your Jordans.
You weren't, none of that stuff.
Unless your rocks right. You know, you can't wear the Jordan.
Do you remember those Walmart shoes that had the straps? That's what
That's what everyone was wearing.
That's what we were rocking.
Yeah, and you see someone like Rocks Right with his like clean ass Jordans. And you're like, this guy's gonna scrape them, and then he doesn't scrape them.
Oh man, that guy, and then you know that
makes you think you can do it, and then you scrape your Jordans, and you're like, that was such a bad idea.
That's what I did with those. I had my first pair of Dadas. My mom was like, why do you want these shoes so bad? I remember they were like patent leather, and they had the little crowns on the side of them. They were all white. And I was like, dude, these are the shoes that I'm gonna do it in these, you know. And I remember the first time I broken them, dude, I scuffed them bad. They got wrecked. They were cooked. And I was like, what the hell was that? I went home. My mom was pissed. She's like, I spent $60 on these, and yada. I was like, they're for my dance. She's like, I don't care. You're not supposed to be dancing in these. These are your school shoes. I was like,
damn, dude.
But yeah, like that, the grime was definitely a big part of coming. I mean, that's how I feel like a lot of older OG B-boys still compete to now, because they went through that stuff, and they, you know, they had that hunger, and they did whatever it took, you know, to get to the next level.
That's true, yeah.
You know, and a lot of the younger cats, I mean, I'm not gonna say that they don't have that same compassion and stuff, but they don't really understand like the slum part of it, you know. That's what I was telling like a lot of people. I was like, man, this is all handed to you guys. Like we got kicked out of, you know, trying to practice in a studio.
Yeah. And now it's like there's studios that let you practice all over the place.
There's studios strictly just for b-boying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's dope. I mean, and then it's
I like seeing that it's been more embraced in the world. Yeah. I mean, but it definitely feels like the veil of grime has been lifted up a little bit, and it's getting more into like a mainstream kind of world.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just very different.
Yeah.
And I think it's an obvious shift from what it used to be.
Yeah.
And I think our generation was the middle of that shift, because I think we're the generation that came right as technology started really changing the scene.
Exactly.
You know, and so we saw before it, and now we're seeing after it. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm really interested to see how it keeps developing, because, you know, I think getting popular in breaking has always been about like promotion, self-promotion.
Oh, for sure.
And with the invention of social media now, it's that the methods of, or the means of doing that is so different than it used to be, because it used to be show up to the jam, smoke people,
word of mouth.
Yeah, and then people get the footage, and then they like, you know, they'll mail it to each other.
You couldn't even post it back then.
You couldn't post it.
You
had to mail it.
Or you had to,
or someone had to say, hey, did you see that one battle? And then they're like, what? Who's got the footage? Who's got the footage? Yo, Moon Cricket, where you at? Freaking.
Gotta go to Ghetto Clue.
Mikey Ice, where you at? Yeah, yeah. And so like finally you find someone who got the footage, and then they show it to you,
and you'd be able to see it.
This is it. And then, you know, your boy steals it, or what, you hand it. You let someone watch it, and then you never see it again.
Saw it again, or they would, I'm gonna dub it, and they never bring it back, or their VCR ate it, you know,
oh man, or you get like the third or fourth dub of it, so it's like really grainy, like as you those old like VHS tapes.
It's like half B-boy and half like of a TV show that they recorded.
Yeah, well, cause oh man, yeah. I wonder if people like get that reference where it's like, cause back then you'd get a tape, and if you want to make a copy of it, you have to literally copy everything from that tape to a new tape, and you had to have a special little recorder, and it was never perfect.
Nope.
So there was always like these little like skips and stuff, and like the tracking was off and stuff.
Oh my
and
god,
then,
do you remember having to use the tracking button to
to fix it? Yeah. And so if your boy was bad at dubbing the video, you got trash. And then if his version was a dubbed version too, the next one he makes is going to be even worse. So it just sequentially gets worse and worse and worse, and then you get the 5th dub tape and it's just trash, dude.
So back to that real quick.
Tell who it is.
It's so funny though, because remember one time I got like a dub tape from who was it? I want to say it was I think it was Larry or one of those guys, but it was like a dub tape of a battle, and I tried copying it. I actually did copy it, but it was over like one of our family videotapes.
Oh.
It was messed up. So shout out to my sister, but it was over the birth of her birthday tape.
Oh man, she must have been pissed,
dude. She's like, "Hey, where's my birthing tape from?" You know, like, I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, she found it, dude. She was pissed, and it was like. So yeah, needless to say, man, if you guys are doing that, or you don't have to do it now, but that's the kind of stuff we went through just to get the copies of the footage, man.
Was it at least a dope video? It's like a home video of you just doing some shitty coffee grinder.
Dude, that's all it was us practicing in our front yard.
She's like,
practicing falling everything.
She's like, let's watch the video of my firstborn. And then it just skips right at the good part. It skips to you, like just freaking shitty face freeze.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it was. And it was like at nighttime, so you couldn't even see anything. It was so bad, man.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like that kind of stuff, you know, transitioning from like, you know, qualities of recording and stuff. But if you're, you know, if you got like a shitty camera for like, you know, your streams and stuff like that, it's gonna stand out, and people are gonna be like, why is your camera so bad, and why is your game footage so good? So like, you know, you got a crappy green screen. Okay, so I didn't know anything about green screening. I still don't. It's dude, it's a struggle, but you have to have like perfect lighting, a bunch of different things to incorporate with it. But I remember one time I had no lighting, and I just bought a green screen, and I got a camera, and I, you know, put the thing on. So your green screen is supposed to match everything that's, you know, or whatever is supposed to be behind you. You're supposed to blend in with the game. Well, not me. It had like, if you have it a certain way where it doesn't work and the color scheme is not right, you'll have all these like flare ups, or like they're called flames. So it's like, it'll be like gray, or it's just your background. It'll be green. So like I was recording like that or streaming like that, and people are like, what's wrong with your green screen? And you just see like stuff in the background is going crazy, and you're like, there's nothing wrong with my green screen. This is dope. So you got like your bottom corner of your screen's just like a bunch of different colors. It's not even meshing with the game. That part's cut off, and you have the rest of it. It's just the game.
Damn, the struggle is real.
Yeah, so like if you're gonna use, you know, certain stuff, you got to make sure your stuff is on point. Don't use secondary shit.
Yeah. Same thing with your Breakin. Don't use secondary shit.
Or don't use your sister's birthing tape.
Don't use a birthing
tape.
That's all bad. God, that's hella funny.
Oh my God.
Man. That's she must have been so pissed.
She was pissed. We're good now.
Oh my God. I'm just imagining. Here comes the baby. Oh yeah, let's do it. And then it just cuts to you freaking like Halo crash. And
my God.
And you're like, oh my arm.
This is so bad, bro.
I'm so bad at breaking. Luckily, this isn't on any. I didn't record over anything important.
Yeah, I didn't hear the end of it for a long time.
Oh my God. Oh fuck. Damn, dude. I'm fucking weak. I wanted to ask you, like, what's your favorite part about breaking?
My favorite part about the breaking is just like the passion and the creativity and your free spirit of, you know, doing what your mind, you know, is always constantly thinking of. Can you do this or can you not? You know, and breaking boundaries. Like, I never thought I could spin on my hand or, you know, my head, or, you know, hold some crazy freeze, or, you know, hitting a combo that was like, you know, whoa, like just the whole aspect of being, you know, creative, to learn culture about behind it. You know, I've never really been a fan of like learning like about history of stuff, but when I started learning about the history of like b-boying, and I had a lot of dope mentors that would, you know, take me back to that kind of stuff. And I think that's another difference between like, you know, our generation and then the generation before us and then the new generation. So like our generation got taught by the OGs that would really press the aspect of the history and, you know, the cultural, you know, from the beginning. As of now, we kind of don't do that. Like, you know, we're teaching these young kids, but, you know, they're just learning the moves. They're not really learning, you know, some are. Some, I'm not going to say everybody, but the majority of the people, you ask them, who is this? Or, you know, do you know who did that? And they're like...
History kind of gets lost in my
opinion. Does. And
that's a little bit kind of why I started this podcast, because I wanted to get kind of somewhere to document, so, you know, all the people that have influenced me, at least, because a lot of their stories don't get told. I mean...
Yeah,
the stuff you see nowadays is just whatever is on the social media hype of the day, you know. Exactly. And most of those people, or most of the people I really look up to, don't even have a social media following at all, or like they're not even on social media. And so it's like I want those stories to be out there too.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even give a fuck about social media personally, and so like coming into it, I'm like, dude, there's a lot to learn about this just to like get these people's stories out, and so it's a hustle to do that.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm really concerned with those stories getting lost, and so I'm trying to do my best to get it out there.
Yeah, no, that's big ups to you, man, because like you said, not a lot of people are doing that. They'll do the, you know, their shows for, you know, the views, or they want to do it just to kind of, you know, keep breaking alive, which is cool. But don't forget about the history, because that's, you know, without the history, we wouldn't have any of it, you know. And I just respect, like, you know, the people that are still, you know, teaching that kind of stuff, but also who are keeping it alive too. But you know, just the creativity of everything, and then, you know, the passion behind it, and, you know, dance is forever, man. Like, you feel good and you feel free when you're expressing yourself. So, you know, I love the part about just, you know, seeing unity is a big thing. You know, I love how people come together, and, you know, with that, you know, you learn a lot of stuff from b-boying, you know, not just dancing, but you learn, you know, boundaries. You learn how to control your body. You learn about health. You learn about, you know, developing relationships. You know, people have different aspects of how they look at people until you actually, you know, interact with somebody and learn from them, or, you know, you're around them for so long. Yeah. You get to, you know, create these memories or these relationships, and all that stuff I think is fascinating. And I feel like it's dope that people, you know, are able to express themselves in this art form, and at the same time, you know, still be able to create, you know, who they are, their persona, or their identity even. Yeah,
there's a lot of soft skills I think that are involved in breaking.
Oh yeah.
Just like, because obviously like the dance skills, you know, that's a lot of athleticism behind that, but, you know, there's a big social aspect to it. There's a whole aspect of being in the spotlight for a moment, and then also being part of a community, a crowd and stuff. So like, it's like all these different things that are involved with it that you don't even think about normally. I mean, like when I was younger, I was always kind of like scared of being in like big crowds, because I was always kind of afraid I'd either get jumped or something. Yeah. And so it was weird, like going into like a jam or something with hella people around me and stuff. And so
social anxiety,
like, it kind of helped me like get over that.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
And so, and then same thing, like I'm not really too into being like in spotlight either, but to break well, you really have to get comfortable in that. And so it became like a skill that I learned, I picked up. And so now it's like, I can go, you know, at work and do, you know, like a presentation or a talk or something.
You build confidence.
You build confidence through it. So it's kind of cool how those skills, you're built from just freaking rolling on the ground, basically.
Ground,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would have never thought at the age in high school that I was when I started, that breaking would do anything to me other than fuck me up, you know? And then now I look at it going like, this taught me some of the most important things in my life, which is crazy to me.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
I mean, and that's the dope thing about that, is like, you get to take all that with you and, you know, either pass it on or tell your story about it, and then, you know, everybody gets to kind of grasp like, damn, I never knew that about that, or you know, or about you even, you know, like, wow, like, you know, like you said, it's breaking is a lot more than just the physical aspect. You know, you got the mental part, the creativity part, you know, even your passion. Like you've never been passionate about anything until you know, there was every day. It was just, you know, in class or at home laying down, and first thing you wake up, you think about moves. You think about, you know, oh, I'm gonna, you know, try this today, or I'm gonna switch this concept up. Like you find passion behind it.
Yeah,
you know?
you find like a real big like persistence to do something.
Exactly.
And get good at something. Yeah.
And you know, people who are coming from like not having anything really, or that, you know, have a broken home, or they find comfort within their crew members or their community, and it's like a second family pretty much, you know. Like I think growing up, I spent more time with my crewmates and being with them than my actual family.
Yeah,
you know?
I would say the same thing for me too. I mean, like I would hang out with all my B-boy friends
Way
all
more than
day,
me.
every day.
And if you weren't kicking it with them, you were talking to them some point or another.
Yeah, or we were like, we'd talk and say like, yo, we got to train for this battle or whatever.
Yeah.
So you better be practicing at home or whatever, you know. And so, and then we would meet up or whatever and go to the mall and freaking break there or whatever.
Yeah.
Battle some people. I mean, it was breaking was life when I was younger,
for sure.
you know?
For sure. That's what it was all about, was just getting up, good, you know, meeting up with your boys, your crew, b-boying, and then after school right back to it, practice.
And you don't know passion until you like want to really learn how to lotus, and you kick yourself in the nuts.
Oh my God.
And then you go, oh, and then you do it again and you keep practicing it. That's passion, dude.
I have like scars on my knees from learning windmills.
Yeah, exactly.
I would scrape the shit out of my knees.
I got a big ass scar on both shoulders from doing coin drop windmill.
Oh my.
Just I kept doing it, and I was wearing this like shitty thermal shirt, and it just ripped open, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then the next day I'd come in and do it again with another shitty thermal, and it's just like 4 different shitty thermals, and they're all doing the same thing.
They're all bloodied up.
Yeah, no, and because I remember I had the scar before, like I even met my wife, but when I first met my wife and she saw it, she's like, what
the hell happened to you?
Like, did you get shot or something? And I was like, nah, this is from breaking. Like,
I broke my nose.
It's kind of a bitch ass like scar when you really explain it, but it's like, it looks hella crazy.
It looks badass, though. They're like, yeah. Got B-boy damage on me. Dude, I broke my nose.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
I was learning backflips.
Yeah.
Overstepped and boop.
Yeah.
You know, but I kept going. It's like you said, you don't know the passion until you break yourself off on something,
and
you just keep going. Dude, I've broken my fingers before at jams.
Oh yeah.
I've messed up. I remember one time I broke my ankle, or I fractured my ankle at when we battled you guys at the pyramid. Remember that? When we were Empire Crew.
Oh,
dude,
at the pyramid? I forgot about that.
We did that backflip thing, and then I landed on my freaking ankle. My ankle was fractured and was swollen. We still battled throughout the night.
That's right. Yeah, because that was a long ass battle. Yeah, that was fun.
That was dope. That was fun.
Dope. Yeah, that was before I was even 21.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like they had to escort me in.
Yeah. Because it was
like
I wasn't even. We were like 19 or something like that. Yeah. We weren't even 21.
Was I even 18? I just remember I might have been younger than that.
It was like for that night, it was like 18. Where we were only able to battle. We couldn't go to the bar.
They basically escorted us in, and they're like, dance monkey, and then get the fuck out.
And I'm all limping and had like ice on me, and they were like, yeah, you gotta go. Like,
and what was whack was they were like, and you gotta wear like the dress club attire, so it's like you had to wear like the dress shoes and shit. And
it was so bad, dude. Like I remember we had our Empire shirts underneath our dress shirts. It was so corny.
It was hella corny.
Oh my God, dude.
That was bad. Those are the days.
Those were the days, man.
Yeah, you don't know passion until you do that.
Them shitty 106 Park fucking dance video. That's exactly what it looked like in that club, dude.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
We were getting down to pump it up and
pump it up. Dude, were you around when what was it? Alpha Zone? Remember Alpha Zone? It was like this 18 and up club that we went to. I was like maybe 16 or something. I mean, it was an 18 and under club.
Oh, 18 and under?
Yeah, and so when I was 16, we would go to the club. I think that's where I met J-Ro and them. And we would just battle. And I remember we were just battling the other high school kids, and the DJ was like, this one goes out to the breakdancing. And then he plays who sings this song? Raspberry Parade. You know that song?
I don't think I've ever heard that song.
I can't remember who sings it, but definitely a song you'd never hear at a jam ever. Like no one would ever think to play that for a b-boy at all. And they just decided
like
to play
Raspberry Parade.
This one goes out to all the b-boys out there. Like,
you know what I hate, bro? Is when you ever go to the club and they always play like dun dun dun.
Yeah.
And everybody would just look at you and you're just like I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Like I don't even like this song.
Oh my god, dude, that's the worst.
But this is breakdance.
Or when they hear it, go spin on your head. You go spin on your head.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But you would end up doing it though.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
I hate that shit. That's why sometimes I don't tell people.
Oh my god, dude, it's the worst. Like just recently, I think earlier this year, I went to a wedding with my girlfriend. And you know, she knows that I dance and stuff, and she told her family that. Oh. And same thing. And it's all, oh, this one goes up to the break dancer, and there's only one guy that break dances.
This one goes out to the break dancer.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, you know, there's people messing around, and I was like, oh Lord. And she's like, just do it. And I'm like, all right. So, you know, to make everybody happy, I just hit some windmills, and then it was like shut down everything. You know how people just get when they see something like that.
You should have just turned on the footage from from your sister's. This is what happens when I break.
Oh man, yeah, that. Oh, I'll tell you this, man. I've never ever been so scared in my life when she's like, "Is this my freaking birthday date?" I'm like, "Oh no!"
She pulls out a knife.
Oh, like, dude, she was heated. Like she didn't talk to me for like a couple months.
Oh my god, bro. So I wanted to also ask you about like what inspires you in breaking? Or I guess creatively.
Creatively, I would say it was just the people around me, like you guys. You know, it was you know, early Legendary Steps. You know, Empire Crew. Even back to when I lived in New Mexico, I went to when I lived out there. There was that's how I kind of got more into depth and breaking was through the crew called TWS, Together with Style. Shout out to New Mexico. But yeah, it was just the people that kind of like being, like I said, the whole family kind of concept, because I have two sisters and I have no, you know, other, you know, my dad lived in New Mexico and I was always with my mom and my sisters. But it was just like another outlet for me, dude. And I love just the creativity part of it. I've always loved dancing. When you're a dancer, you're a dancer. I used to do like, I remember one time it was just like times where like I'd be at family parties and they were like, oh, spin on your head. And this is before I was even breaking though. Yeah. So like, you know, you could do it. I didn't know anything about nothing, but just always being attracted to the concept of creating your own stuff, and you know, not even just building your identity, but building like your own persona. Because you can be anybody in the b-boy world. Like you could be the asshole, you could be the dude that's cool, you can be the person who, you know, who would just everybody, as soon as you walk through the door, they're like, oh, you know, like
it's the Marvel universe. Like, because you can really just say, okay, this is my superpower, and I'm gonna like build this persona of it.
And the dope part is you'll never know. Like, you know, you'll have, like you said, little kids that, you know, I was a little kid, that kid will smoke the shit out of you. You got girls now. The girls today are like insane, dude. And you're just like, you know, back when we were coming up, you know, it would be rare if they were there, but it was super rare that you would see something like that.
There was the B-girl to B-boy breakdown was like 98% B-boys and like
now it's like B-girls. 50 and 50, which is crazy.
It's getting closer to 50-50. I think, like,
and it's dope, but like, you know, just I would say like that would be like the thing that drove me a lot or inspired me the most, is just seeing people and, you know, the different aspects of where they can take it, and just being able to try to take it there myself. I mean, I've gotten to a certain point where I felt I was good, I was decent, I made a decent name for myself at the time. But that was another thing. I like the recognition too. Like people are like, oh, that's, you know, so and so. He's actually really dope. You know, so those would probably be the main things. Would just be like, you know, the inspiration of being around my people, seeing people in the community, how it was growing, and also just to be a part of it. You know, like I don't, you know, consider myself as a big hitter, but a lot of people do know who I am from Sacramento. Coming from Woodland's small. There's nothing out there. There was a small little handful.
There's not even wood.
There's farms that have some trees and orchards out there.
It's mostly farms.
Coming up, there was probably only like, I don't know, 4 people that danced in that whole town. Yeah. And you know, they weren't even like you know, anything crazy. The only person crazy to come out of Woodland was Charlie Badchild.
Shout out
to Charlie
dude.
Badchild. That guy is, man. So that's, you know, another person who kind of pushed me to that next level, because I seen this dude doing flips and, you know, crazy stuff, and I'm just like, man.
I'm convinced he's Tiny Tim's dad.
Oh, dude, that's the half man, half amazing of Woodland right there. Like, legit, bro. He was flipping over. Do you remember that battle we did against you guys at Sac State, and he did that front flip over?
He just front flip. I think it was James that
just
stood there,
he just stood, and he
just went
cleared
boom.
him.
And I was like, oh, we're gonna get smoked.
And like, you know, not a lot of people knew who we were, and coming out of nowhere, they were like, who the fuck are these guys? And it was cool though, because like, you know, we looked up to you guys, because you guys were the people.
Charlie might even be the dude that jumped from the freaking second story down.
Oh yeah.
That's some shit Charlie would have done.
Oh, dude, Charlie did some crazy stuff, man. When we would practice, he would come up with some off the wall stuff. He was like, hey, we're gonna try it. I'm gonna do a head spin on top of your head while you're sitting down. I'm like, what? He was like, nah, man, we gotta try it. And I'm like, hell, he's like, that's why you ain't grown. Charlie's crazy, bro. I love that guy. But yeah,
he did not care about hurting himself.
Oh no, dude. I remember back to that park. He would I remember he busted his eyebrow open. He was leaking.
Yeah.
He's like, almost got it. And he would still go, dude. He was like half bloodied up, and he would still be practicing air flares.
He was trying to get 1.5s, and we were like, you know, he was getting pretty close, and we're like, you should maybe train your air flares. He's like, I don't got air flares. How are you doing this? And he's just freaking throwing himself. Yeah,
and, dude,
I think that's just it. He just throws himself in praise.
That man he's
a lucky guy.
He's lucky he didn't like hurt himself really bad. But he had definitely some body strength. He was a freak athlete.
He's a freak athlete.
Yeah,
for sure. He's a LeBron James of like.
My Lord, fucking Charlie.
That guy's insane. Yeah,
I want to tell you, dope guy, dope b-boy, but grimy as fuck.
The dopest are the grimiest.
The dopest are the grimiest. I'm like, oh man, and I'll tell you, bro, Charlie is a local legend, and a lot of people in Sacramento knew who he was.
Hell yeah, he is.
You know, and even in Woodland, they're just like, oh man, I know Charlie.
He's a local legend for sure.
He's a local legend. That's somebody I felt like he could have gone places if he would have stuck with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, held on to it. But I mean, dude,
there's quite a few, I think, from SAC that I
put
in that category. Some of them just, you know, didn't have the means to do it, or just like didn't want to, or whatever. I mean, I mean, but there's a lot of talent around here.
So much talent.
I don't know. It's nice. It's cool to see that, and I'm trying to get those stories out.
The legends are.
I want to get Patrick on here.
Oh, dude, Pat is. I was about to say that. Like, that's one of the guys that I feel like nobody. I mean, they knew of him, but nobody really knows him. Like,
I really like the idea of him, because he's just like super good.
Oh yeah.
And people who know him know what's up, and people who don't, he's kind of just, you know, a regular guy, and you know, he doesn't want to be like in the spotlight at all.
Yeah,
you know?
at all.
He just wants to break for fun and do it on his own means, and that's like perfectly fine.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's sick.
That's the first thing I think I heard when I started coming out here to SAC. Is, you know who Pat is? And I'm like, who? And they're like, Pat. And I was like, nah. They're like, oh my God, Pat's like
the freaking secret weapon, dude.
Yeah. And I saw like a old clip of him when he was a legendary. Yeah. And you know, and then that's the only footage I've ever seen.
He's only battled once. I was the first crew I was ever in. He was in that crew. It was Funk Monk's crew.
Okay.
And so we were all in there together, and he was still good back then. And then he joined Legendary. I think he was even in Flex for a little while.
Yeah.
And he only battled once, I think.
One time. But I seen that footage, and I was like, oh shit.
It's like, but this guy's got battles.
He was like the practice monster, dude.
He's got battles under his belt for sure. But.
He was that unicorn that you would hear about, like, oh, I got smoked by Pat back in the day, and they're like, oh, damn.
But I like those. I like stories like that where there's like kind of just hidden talent somewhere that you know they they break on their own. You know, they make the rules.
Yeah, exactly. It's on their own terms.
Like they're not looking for clout. It's
at
just
all.
Purely,
I mean, and that's the thing.
Purely for the love of it.
Purely for the love of it. He's so like down to earth and humble. Like I was actually on the phone with him on the way over here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And you know, just even talking to him as a person, dude. He's such a good dude. Like he's such a nice person and everything. You know, loves to joke around. Like doesn't have a mean bone in his body.
Yeah,
like, you know, yeah, he's a good guy, dude. Shout out to Pat, man.
Yeah. Just hidden gems.
Hidden gems, yeah, for sure.
Gems. There's a bunch.
I think that's the actual name of that video or something like that. Was called Hidden Gems or something like that. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. Someone pulled it up. It was just like a short clip of him hitting some crazy combo and him just like hit like a little throw and everything.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
And I was like, oh snap! And he, like you know, and I was already kind of hanging out with him from Davis.
There's a lot of little hidden gem people that I know of, like the Stockton twins.
Oh yeah.
Like, hardly anybody knows of them anymore because I mean, even when they were at their prime, they barely came out to jams really, and when they did show up, it was like they killed it. Yeah. And then they just bounced. And
did you know anybody from Davis back in the day, like B-boys?
I know.
Did you know Tanaka?
Yeah,
dude, Tanaka.
I only met him like once or twice.
Yeah, like
Flare,
that guy too.
Windmill, like hella good flares.
Like all day.
Yeah, that guy.
And like good. I remember, like, you know, he didn't battle. He wasn't a you know, a guy that liked to do any of that stuff.
Or
there was a guy named Ron.
Ron. Yeah,
Ron was dope too.
Yeah, Ronald was sick.
And that's who used to kind of train us before, like in the beginning. You know, it was just Ron.
Moving Through Space, or what was their crew?
I think it was moving MO something, right? Or M.
Something like that.
Yeah, they were dope
Space
though.
Something, yeah.
There was three of them. It was him, Tanaka, and then another guy.
Yeah, and I think Emiko joined their crew too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's some history.
That's Davis history right there. Those are Hickey Gym fucking legends right there.
Dude, I miss those days.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah. So to close this show out, we're about to lose some stuff. I wanted to ask you, like, do you have any other creative outlets?
Right now, I mean, honestly, it's just streaming has been the thing that I've been getting into the most. I still practice here and there to kind of keep myself in the zone. But yeah, it would definitely just be streaming and the creative art of learning how to make, like, you know, YouTube videos.
Okay.
So not like not anything as like content as like, you know, I'm a YouTuber, but just more of the aspect of like video games. I mean, trying to dabble in potting a little bit as well. I mean, I like the concept of talking to people and, like you said, telling stories or getting to know people, or even, you know, getting the breakdown of things, like just learning more and more stuff with you know, technology nowadays, because that's where everything's heading anyways. So I would say, like, just the creative aspect of that is just, you know, the art behind, you know, production, the art behind, you know, making good quality content, and also just, you know, staying in the loop of what's going on, you know, next.
Yeah, online has definitely changed the game, and I think we've only barely just started tapping the artistic realm that you can really get into with online.
Oh, for sure, because
there's
up in everything.
So
much stuff out there. Like, it's, you know, your possibilities as an individual are endless, but it just goes the same thing on you know, internet stuff or videos or potting or you know, anything, and it's just like, if you want to get your name or your passion or your art or even your you know, your personality out there, there's no better way, because you could reach millions of people by a click of a button.
So what do you see happening, like, towards in the future, like, with all this? Like, if you were to sum it up in like a short sentence.
I would say everything's gonna, you know, everybody's gonna be watching. Everybody's gonna be watching eventually, you know, and you have the world at your fingertips, literally.
You think breaking is gonna be like really big? Like a big, I don't know what you'd call it, like a sport or something like. Or
I think breaking social presence or even a media, yeah, I do, because it already kind of is. Yeah, like, as far as the mainstream goes, like, you have shows that are having competitions. You know, you look at a lot of the cats that are on Instagram. You know, Akita, Chaotic, a lot of dudes that are doing stuff on social platforms or even, streaming services. Like it's blowing up and people are starting to get into it and watch. I've seen people watching people practice sometimes. The Monster B-Boys, they have their own streams as well.
Oh, really?
Of them just sessioning.
I don't even know that.
People watch, Instagram Live, people that are sessioning or throwing down rounds. You see the views are just climbing because, it's an attractive thing because it's different.
Yeah, no, I feel like breaking really does have the ability to kind of blow up into this new kind of phenomenon. Sport phenomenon. I don't know what you'd really call it, but yeah, it's in the Olympics. Yeah, it seems like we're just starting to tap the I guess the fandom of it. Right? Because right now the real like breaking nerds are like us. Yeah. Right. The people that are involved in it that actually dance. Yeah. But I think you're gonna slowly start seeing more fandom that are outside of the people that dance, but they're just like really invested into it.
Oh, for sure.
I guess kind of like how mixed martial arts is.
Exactly. Because that came out of nowhere too. Mixed martial arts is still very young.
Yeah. It was. When was it started? Like 90s, I think.
Yeah,
when
in the UFC 90s.
Was there.
Yeah. Early 90s.
So yeah, I mean, and it really didn't even start blowing up. I mean, it was all still a small community up into like 2005, I think. And
exactly.
Then it started really getting popular, and now you got $1 million fights and stuff. I mean, more than that, multi-million dollar
fights. Yeah.
So it'd be really cool to see Breakin somehow get there, but I can't see it happening until there's like a good fandom that's like, out there seeking out that kind of content.
Yeah,
so
no,
we're like probably on the precipice of getting there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. And I just think that people are, who are having more and more access to these outlets and these resources of streaming, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook even has a thing now. All these little things that you can incorporate into, you're going to be able to, show your talent. You're going to be able to, be your dance, and people are they're gonna follow into that. Your average person or viewer is gonna be like, wow, that's crazy, I've never seen that before. A lot of people, like you said, they're transitioning from fighting or video games or even TikTok stuff. They're following into seeing like b-boys that are doing something different.
Yeah, it's starting to make more noise
exactly
online, and it's just gonna draw more people into it. So I'm excited to just see how that all
same
that plays out, because I'm a little concerned, since if we don't like kind of keep the reins on it to at least guide it to a place that makes sense with the history of how it is. I don't want like a corporation to come in and go like, oh yeah, breaking. Like, now that we see that there's money to be made here, let's
tap into it.
Let's make it kind of shape it the way we want it to look, so that we can make more money on it. I'd rather see it shaped by the people that do this stuff and love it, and just have these sponsors come in and go, okay, we like that, here's some money to do it, we want to sponsor an event or whatever, so that we're at least controlling it a little bit more.
For sure. You can't lose you can't lose yourself in the process of an up and coming situation. If we're gonna try these new platforms and stuff like that, always keep it humble and the history behind it.
And in the same respect, we don't want to like not allow something to come into the scene just because we never it's something that we don't know about. We should give it a chance,
be open-minded,
and just figure out be open-minded, see how we can integrate this into it, because it's good opportunity no matter what.
Of course.
You don't want to just sell your soul yet,
but for sure.
You want to integrate it maybe into your soul, I guess.
Exactly, because without adapting to change, there's gonna be no progress. And that's what it comes down to, is you gotta either roll with the times or get lost in the sauce. Well, dope, dude. I think this has been fun. Don't get lost in the sauce, man. Don't do it.
Where can people find you?
You can catch me on Twitch, KillaShyne86, YouTube, same thing, KillaShyne. Shoot the shit on YouTube as well. Instagram, KillaShyne, Bboy Shyne. All that stuff is pretty much all the same. So I'll be either Bboy Shyne or KillaShyne, and you'll see me up there.
Catch him at the latest shitty breakdance battles too.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be there.
December 5th, I'll be judging. There's actually a local event coming down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, shit. I'll have to come out.
Yeah, it's in Roseville. So I think this December 5th. You can check on my Instagram, KillaShyne86. The flyers up there.
Okay. Well, dope, dude. Thanks for being on. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry this show sucks. All right.
Peace.